This is KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guest today is Rob Nassif. Rob is one of the writers commissioned to write part of Strokes of Genius, which is an original commission coming up with the Cedar Rapids Opera Theatre, all surrounding the work of Grant Wood. Well, first off, Rob, welcome. Great to see you.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thanks so much for
Pleasure
being
to
here.
be here. Oh.
So you were contacted. Let's just kind of start talking how this kind of came together. Of course, for people in Eastern Iowa, they know that you are a well-known writer of music and musicals. You've written musicals and opera for many, many years. Many of them, very acclaimed, and probably our greatest export in musical theater writing, I think. In the corridor.
If you narrow it down, perhaps that,
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't
So
know.
you were approached by the opera to be a part of
Yes.
this Grant Wood project. Tell me how that came together.
Daniel Kleinknecht, the artistic director of the Cedar Rapids Opera Theatre, has had this idea for years. And thanks to the generosity of Nan Riley, we were able to come up with commissions. And he selected 3 composers with Iowa connections. Me, Michael Ching, whose wife teaches at Iowa State, and Jean-Francois Charles, who, as you can tell, is from France, but is a professor at the University of Iowa in the School of Music. And it all kind of started in the basement of the Cedar Rapids Art Museum.
Yes, I actually had...
as many things do.
I had Sean Ulmer was in talking about this as well, and
Yeah.
you all were given kind of extraordinary access. You got to go into the basement and see the stuff that doesn't come up very often.
Yeah, it was like the inner sanctum of Hogwarts or something. He led us down a narrow staircase into the museum archives and pulled out these rolling walls of Grant Wood original artwork, just hundreds, not all of which is on exhibit there at the Cedar Rapids Art Museum at the same time. And our assignment was to see what struck us, which of Grant Wood's many paintings in many styles inspired us musically. And I remember thinking, isn't anybody going to do American Gothic? And I called
the
dibs.
elephant in the room.
Yeah, exactly. I said, people are going to want to see that. And furthermore, I really would love to do it. No one seemed to jump on it, so I said, I volunteer. I would love to do that. So we each wrote one-act operas. Mine is called American Gothical, and it's a comedy based on truth and a lot of research about how that most beloved painting, I think, in the entire world came to be. Certainly one of the most parodied paintings came to be. And I've only invented just a little bit of comic, farcical invention, but the rest is really based on rather amazing fact. And I'm sorry. Yeah.
Go ahead. Because as most of us know, the man in the painting, Dr. McKeeby, am I saying that
McKeeby,
right?
Dr. McKeeby.
McKeeby was Grant Wood's dentist. So you can only imagine that somehow this came together in the dentist chair.
It really did. 2 weeks, it was in 1930, summer of 1930, and Grant Wood was looking for inspiration to enter into a contest at the Chicago Art Institute. He'd entered twice before and not made it. This was his 3rd attempt, and it could change his life if he won. And in fact, he didn't win, but it did change his life. So he was in the dentist chair. Grant Wood had very bad teeth, and so often saw Dr. McKeeby. And suddenly he said, those hands, they go with that house. And, of course, the dentist was rather flummoxed. But and so, of course, one of the arias in my opera is called These Hands. And Grant is waxing poetic about the beauty of his dentist's hands. He says, well, 2 weeks prior, he had been given a tour of Eldon, Iowa, and he saw what he called this cardboardy farmhouse with a Gothic window, which actually was ordered from Sears and Roebuck, believe it or not, this way oversized church window in the middle of a farmhouse. And he wondered, he said, who lived in this house? What kind of people? And when he saw his dentist's hands, he said, that's it. You must pose for me. And if you really look at American Gothic, the farmer's hands are right in your face. If they were not, if that fist was not there, holding the pitchfork, it would not have the power and the perspective it has. But it's rather, it's intimidating and yet kind of comical. And It's that enigmatic quality that I think has made it a masterpiece. Is he having fun with this? Is it serious? Is the farmer scowling? Is he about to laugh? You know. So anyway, I always say if Grant Wood had brushed his teeth, this would never have happened. You know. And I also knew the second I started doing research that the first aria would be Grant Wood in the dental chair with his mouth full of cotton, and the aria would be called like that. And it is. It is.
Talking with Rob Nassif about Strokes of Genius. So yours is the first of three
Yes.
that are a part of this. And the same actor-singer, plays Grant Wood in all three of the segments.
That's right, Nick Nestorak. And he's just superb, absolutely charming, funny, superb, and the voice is stunning. We have, in my opera, we have Dr. McKeeby, we have Nan, Grant's long-suffering sister, we have Hattie, his long-suffering mother, with whom he lived. The three of them lived in a little teeny garret, which you can still visit, amazingly.
Next to the History Center, there above the carriage house.
5 Turner Alley. And
it is not a big place for three people
teeny,
to live.
No, and that's where American Gothic was painted. And it was next to the funeral parlor. I mean, it was Turner Mortuary at the time. And so I have organ music emanating from the next door in the opera as well.
Nan definitely had a love-hate relationship with this painting because
Yes.
she hated how she looked because she was a striking, lovely young woman.
Yeah.
And she did not care at all for how he painted her.
Well, she was 30 years younger than Dr. McKeeby, and at first, of course, she refused, and that's a big part of the opera is Grant trying to get everyone in one place and to stand still for a moment and pose. But Grant promised her faithfully that no one would ever think she was the dentist's wife, and of course they do. He said, they'll think you're his daughter. And I don't know if that's worse, being the farmer's daughter and the butt of jokes, but of course, everyone does think it's a farmer and his wife.
So you've had a chance. I know the opera's in rehearsal. You're attending the
Yes.
rehearsals. You're watching, and
Yes.
you've had a chance also to see the other two pieces as
absolutely.
well. How are those coming together?
Oh, this is going to be a truly historic and thrilling project. First of all, I'm a big fan of the work of the other two composers, Michael Ching and Jean-Francois Charles. They're wonderful pieces. Jean-Francois is more of a avant-garde electronic composer. There's a rap piece and a rock piece in his opera. Michael Ching is a very lyrical composer. He wrote Speed Dating Tonight, which was done at Bruce Moore a couple summers ago.
I remember that.
People loved that, and it's considered one of the most popular operas of the 21st century. It's had so many productions. His work is just stunning, just so beautiful. So I think it's going to be a really enjoyable evening. It's all in English, and not only that, there will be super titles. So sometimes it's a little hard with a big, powerful voice to understand, even in English.
Even in English, to understand the words.
So there will be the titles. You can just sit back and really understand everything they're saying. And yeah, man, the rehearsals are just thrilling. Daniel Kleinknecht always brings in. He casts all over the country and brings in the finest singers. And I'm a voice teacher, so I really know the difference. And these singers their voices are exquisite. And I just can't tell you what a thrill it is to hear them bring your music to life.
The opera is Strokes of Genius, 3 Grant Wood one-acts, one of them composed by Rob Nassif, and it's coming up, and this will be in the venue, will be Theater Cedar Rapids.
That's right. It's produced by the Cedar Rapids Opera Theatre, but in the Theater Cedar Rapids, TCR, beautiful venue, their theater, and the tickets are available through TCR.
And just 2 performances.
3 performances.
Are there 3? Okay, so Friday, and then is there a Saturday?
Yes.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday, April 12th and 13th at 7:30, and then Sunday the 14th at 2.
Okay, so 3 opportunities to see it.
Yeah.
And again, you can get your tickets through theatercr.org. But if you'd like more information, you can visit the opera website, which is cr-opera.org. And I'll bet there's a link that will take you to where
There's always a link
where you can take tickets. Well,
you can go round and round and round.
What a fun project this has to have been. I've been excited to see this for all the months that I've known that it's going on, and now it's almost here.
It's unbelievable. We've been working almost 2 years, year and a half on this, and here it is. So yes, we're giving birth to a brand new project right here in Cedar Rapids about an artist who is our own hometown boy.
Thanks very much for being here, Rob. Appreciate it.
Pleasure, Dennis.
Again, April 12th through the 13th, cr-opera.org if you'd like to know more. You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most Thursdays and Fridays at 10:20, or watch the video podcast or download it to listen to later using your favorite podcast app or at kcck.org/culture. I'm Dennis Green.